What's up, you filthy casuals? Welcome to the Casual Shenanigans Gaming Podcast, a podcast all about everything PC gaming related. I'm one of your hosts, JERMgaming, and joining me tonight is Joel.
What's up, people?
Ow,
that
peeking.
really hurt.
Also joining us is Dave, the not so evil Viking 13.
What?
And James.
What's up?
Not joining us is the chat because apparently it can't see it for some stupid reason, so I tried. Here, I'm going to drag it back over here. And podcast getting derailed in 3, 2. All right. So we have a ton of news tonight, probably more news than we have had in any podcast. Joel, are you talking? Okay. Cool, thanks. Probably more than we have had in any podcast so far, so we are going to dive pretty much straight into it, unless anyone else has anything they need to say before we start. No?
No, Windows just automatically boosted my gain 100%. I had it at 45%, randomly at 100.
That have you updated anything lately?
No, I just installed the mic. No, I mean, like, I changed it after I installed the mic.
Yeah, ARMA 3 put mine at 100 for some reason when I was just...
ARMA 3? Normally
10,
ARMA doesn't do that.
solve all the problems, I'm sure.
Has anyone else been using the technical preview?
No, is it good?
I downloaded it. I haven't used it yet.
Let me put it this way. So I set up a virtual machine and installed it. It's Windows 8. Or it's Windows 8.1 with the start menu. Like, it just is. I'm assuming there'll be more changes coming. But, I mean, it looks like identical. And it acts identical.
They have a mainly marketing issue, not a real operating system issue.
They said
8.1 is
They said
great.
Windows 10 was too... No. It's not that saying it's bad, but they said Windows 10 has had too many changes. We can't call it Windows 9.
No.
There's no way. It's not even possible. That's the 2-generation name jump. That's like the difference between XP and 7. That's the type of jump they'd be talking about if it was so big they couldn't just name it the next thing. Has anyone else just skipped 2 numbers? I mean, I guess Microsoft also went backwards with the Xbox One for no apparent reason. Basically, they don't know what they're doing. They did say that they want to have a unified experience across phones, tablets, computers, and the Xbox. So you can assume it's going to suck for PCs and it's going to be pretty bad for everyone else. But Windows 10, at least it seems like, I don't know, it seems fairly cool so far. Like it works smoothly. Like there aren't really any big issues with it, but I'm not like blown away or anything. Okay. Moving on in 1 second. There we go. I'm just moving the chat window around to where it's going to look better when I set it up later. Our first news story is DayZ. DayZ had their 0.5 experimental update. Dave is here to tell us all about it and why this means that DayZ is finally good or something.
I was really trying to paste this into a Word document so I could change the background before I started because I'm like looking into the sun over here on my second screen. This is
just why don't you turn the brightness on your monitor down? We went through this last week.
And then it hurts my eyes.
Turn it down.
My special eyes.
No, turn the brightness down.
Right,
Why don't you
and then it hurts to
accessibility
read.
mode?
So you want to... Never mind. Let's just
turn
not...
it down. You know what? It's happening right now.
Pull it up on your
Just
phone.
turn it down just so it doesn't hurt your eyes, but not so much that you can't read it.
This is a crappy screen. There is no such middle ground.
Dave, I'm using 2 TN monitors. I've got them on either side of my IPS right now. The dream is real. I'm using a TN turned portrait mode for my email.
The dream is real.
Do you know what the side-to-side viewing angles are like on a TN? Flip it on its side, and that's what you're looking at for everything. There's a narrow band in the middle of the screen that looks okay, and everything else is like, wow, I didn't know I had a green screen. Wait, no, it's purple. No, it's green again. Back to blue.
Yeah, I would know that pain, Jeremiah, but my crappy Samsung TFT screen has a stand that is like a little oval plastic thing that you can't even like remove without taking out a bunch of hex
My
screws.
TFT is also a Samsung, and it has a rotating stand.
Oh,
So,
Shenanigans.
moving on.
Nothing ever works, and the news doesn't matter.
You're not wrong.
all right. DayZ Experimental 0.5. This is actually the third version of 0.5 we've gotten.
They don't just give it different version names?
No, because the numbers refer to the stable versions. So there's a 0.5
Oh,
on experimental, then a
gotcha.
0.5
So they just
again,
make
then a 0.5
incremental
again.
changes to 0.5 on experimental, and then
That's
when it rolls
correct.
to stable. Okay, cool.
There's
All right.
another
It makes
point.
sense
There's
if I can
another
finish
point
my
that comes after the
sentence.
5-0, but it's silent. So
They're foreign. So we get our third 0.5 experimental update to what will eventually become 0.5 stable. This one actually added lock picking, door locking, and my personal favorite, door smashing. Knocking the doors open when they've been locked is actually a lot of fun. It makes like a really loud ricochet sound right now, as usual. Pachoo! But no one's going to miss you breaking into their fortifications. We also have the initial version of horticulture, including garden lime, soil prepping, greenhouses, and planting, except for no one has found the tomato seeds yet. Like, I actually have like a bag of gardening supplies stashed up in the furthest northeast part of the map under a bush, waiting for tomato seeds. And then actually,
I have no
basically-
words. I have no
That
words.
basically wrecked my live stream last night because I was playing with Reese on experimental. And he's like, "Oh, I spawned it at Vibor." I'm like, "Oh, cool. I'm at the corner of the map." It was an hour of me running. Yeah,
Sounds
Dave
about
is the
normal.
pin.
it's the what?
I said you were the pin for the map.
Basically.
All right. So
But we
what
know
else
where
is
you
new?
hide your seeds now.
Yeah, everyone. The hordes will descend upon the north. Where are the tomato seeds?
So don't snipe
Which
him.
bush?
Go steal his seeds.
You sick people. There's
I'm
also
gonna
new
spray
melee,
disinfectant
new
on all of your
firearms.
seeds.
What?
You can spray disinfectant on all of your.
That's
like,
true. That's the thing you could do.
tomatoes and stuff.
Oh, the ultimate.
Some men just want to watch the
You'll
world
reap the
starve.
Because you can actually right now take the gardening hoe or the shovel and you till the flower beds in those shattered greenhouses from the way back in the mod. That's one of the best places to apparently, if you find seeds, grow your tomatoes. The worst bandit in the world finds one of those greenhouses and just pulls out the disinfectant and just goes down the line.
I would say they
Reap
just
the
pluck the
harvest.
green tomatoes and sit them on the ground like a monster.
Oh, what do you hate nice things?
Like a monster.
Yeah, new guns. We get the repeater, the cowboy's favorite weapon, and the pump action shotgun. Finally, that thing is actually a lot of fun. I've been waiting on that for a while. I'm really excited to see the server focus. Ignoring the video Joel posted last night, up until this last 0.5 patch, servers were working much better, and they're working on getting 50-player servers on stable, which is great because stable is unstable and only 30 to 40 players right now. And global sounds have been greatly reduced in 0.5 on experimental. There's new crafting. You can now take a metal wire and stick to create a rabbit snare and catch rabbits. And it's a really cool user suggestion right here. This was from Reddit actually. Someone suggested that you could search the chicken coops that are all over the world for feathers to create improvised arrows. Now you can do that. It's kind of cool. That's the second improvised idea from Reddit actually that's been added to the game. I can't remember the first, but it probably wasn't mind-blowing. Duct tape has a use. Duct tape now repairs literally everything. You can, I'm not even kidding. You can take duct tape and repair your rain jacket or your like your pants or your propane tank.
See, that's the type of gaming stuff I'm glad they're putting more of that in. Like, they're acknowledging, hey, this isn't super realistic, but come on, it's duct tape. It's fun. Just roll with it. I'm cool with
Add
that.
that as a way to like tie someone up.
Oh, that's coming actually just a bit further along in the status report, James. I'm glad you asked that.
Oh, nice.
Additionally, up north, they are working on cutting some holes in the terrain to place limited underground areas up north, kind of like how CryEngine, you can create a hole in the terrain mesh. And there's some sewer areas up north. Have you guys seen the video? It's just called like the
I
Pit
saw the
of
guy
Death.
climbing down. Yeah.
So the base with that limited underground area, where they have some of these sewer models that go a little bit under this new military base out in the woods, that area was not supposed to be in this patch yet. It's not finished yet. And one of the things that isn't finished is one of the deepest pits that just goes down like 4 stories underground to this giant pit full of trash and zombie bodies. It's like this super long ladder, and the guy was like climbing down to look, and he didn't realize about halfway down the ladder wasn't finished, so there weren't any rungs. So he's like climbing down, he just like slides all the way down, and now he's standing like 4 stories underground, looking up at this tiny little pinhole of light, and the ladder is just 2 bars. It's like 10 feet over his head, and he slowly starved to death in that pit.
Can we for in a community event have like pit fighting?
What's that place in New Vegas, or like the underground fight club?
It'll be like in The Dark Knight Rises. You handcuff people, drag them to the bottom, and be like, "You will watch as we destroy everything you love, and then you have my permission to die."
Oh, man.
They're all jumping off ledges and stuff. Most of this will probably never happen, but it feels really fun. Then again, there is the night where we took someone into slavery, sold them to someone else, and then got a team of butlers and went on a rampage through Berezino, culminating in a suicide run up Hamburger Hill, and that was all within about an hour. So you never know.
You never know.
But the odds are low that anything really awesome will ever come of that. But I like that it's there.
Yeah, I'm glad that they have finally gotten the terrain slicing into this version of the engine with the new renderer. Once they fix some of that light clipping issues and allow for some soft shadows and just ambient darkness in interiors and underground areas, it would be cool to see some sewers and stuff in Electro, even if it's just one or two pipes you can go through. Anything like that would add to the environment. I also want to talk about the status report for October 15th, the kind of dev blog status update, because they talked a whole bunch about zombie AI. Right now, the zombies, they have the nav mesh, so in theory, as long as the server is not desyncing, they're not clipping or phasing through walls, but you still can't stealth around zombies, and they really recognize that that's a huge part of what the mod offered. I remember, Joel, you and me crawling around cities constantly, I missed the tension of having a horde there that was big enough where you didn't want to have to shoot it, and you just have no options in standalone for stealth right now. So stealth is coming as part of a completely new zombie AI package. They're going to have reduced range of vision. They're going to have hearing back added to their abilities. So you'll have to keep track of how much noise you're making. Don't go sprinting across the parking lot. Maybe flank around in the grass and whatnot. Definitely looking forward to stealth returning for zombies, and the new animals will actually benefit from that system as well. The animals are going to use some of that similar hearing and sight and stealth based systems, and that's going to be exciting for when we get stuff like the bears and the wolves, where you'll be trying to sneak around a pack of wolves or something out in the woods.
Cool.
Yeah. Additionally, coming up, they talked about stuff briefly in the status report as just this is not really this is what we've completed for the next patch kind of thing. It's this is what our team is actively working on this week. Additionally, they're working on private servers coming in 0.5, probably the end of the month when it hits stable. New zombie types to go along with the new zombie AI. New restraint bug fixes and additions. No more glitching out with the sack over your head and being able to actually play with it. And new ways to restrain people, including with the wire, the rope, and using duct tape to duct tape players so they can't use direct chat. They can't scream for help. I'm glad you asked that earlier, James. And of course, the number one question that everyone's always asking, when are we going to see the first vehicles in DayZ standalone? The artwork for the first vehicle is done already, basically. The programmers are deep into getting all the physics worked out. It's going to have all the crazy shock systems and whatnot. The artwork for the vehicle loot ecosystem, stuff like the fuel, all the different parts and wheels and tires and all that stuff that'll be part of the spawning environment to support vehicles. That artwork is almost done, and the first vehicle is due on experimental basically any time now. It's just soon. They're going to be testing vehicles, the first one on experimental, for probably a good month before it hits stable, but at least we'll be able to get our hands on it soon. And that is DayZ 0.5 and what's coming up.
So Dave, being the DayZ expert here, can you give us when do you think vehicles are going to be out? What's your bet?
Unstable?
Yeah, as on the record.
On the record, okay.
When do you think they're coming out?
Well, they said there's going to be at least a month of testing on experimental, and I don't think we're going to see them on experimental until probably the end of this month.
I'd be surprised if it was even the end of this month.
I'll make a safe bet, and I'll say the end of the year for stable, just one or two vehicles.
At the end of the year now.
I've seen one or two vehicles on stable, end of December.
Oh, on stable. Okay.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying experimental. When do you think we'll see those?
By middle of next month, easily. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the artwork is done. They're just working with that global loot economy that's been added.
Artwork's the easy part for them.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's definitely true. Their art team is rocking and rolling for sure. But I mean, all the pieces are in place. They're already testing vehicles internally, and they're really not afraid to drop broken things onto experimental. So the question of just when are we going to get our hands on them, middle of next month,
Channel
I think is a good bet. Who keeps editing the TeamSpeak channel?
I found there's other audio options. I was able to bump our bitrate up by 50%. By 50%.
I'm like talking over the TeamSpeak guy. In my
Oh, come on.
ears.
It's done it 3 times now, and it's been
really
like
distracting,
a half
Jeremiah.
second.
We're
Fine.
live. It's
All
not
right. Thank you for the update. Also, voice updates. Joel, why don't you show everyone what sexy new hardware you're working with? On your desk. On your desk. Oh, you're grabbing the mic. I just figured we're grabbing the camera.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Patreon. We can now hear Joel's voice in sexiness when he sits close enough to it. We'll talk about that later.
I'm gonna get it set up. You look like you have yours hung up from somewhere else. So
On a high shelf.
over here.
Joel, just
So
put.
I'm
I just want to hear what it sounds like. Put your voice put your face right next to it. I want to hear.
Yeah, I'll talk quiet because I don't know if the.
Oh.
How does it
Ooh.
sound, guys?
Oh.
Joel,
Tell-
can you
tell
tell
me
us
the
a story?
news.
Are you guys ready for me to talk about some Patreon stuff now?
Read me the news. Ooh.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some jazz.
All right, Camper Voice is making a comeback.
Camper voice.
All right, and that is the DayZ
Your voice is
news.
peaking a lot, Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Just
Is
letting
it?
you know.
Is
Yeah,
it?
it is.
Oh, why did no one tell me this?
It's not that. Well, we did actually.
You told me to turn it up. You said it wasn't loud enough.
No, we told you.
Well, you're. It's funny. You're actually quiet, but it's still peaking.
It's still overmodulated.
If I'm quiet, then that's a
I
problem
can,
with.
I can start with the next stuff. I have the next bit of news.
Okay. Yeah. Start with.
Unless we're jumping something else.
Well, let
Yeah,
me,
yeah,
I
go
wanna
ahead.
ask you before we move on.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
What's up with the zombies right now, Dave?
I want experimental.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I had no idea. I played at lunchtime yesterday, and I was like, the worst it's been since they added nav mesh in like June. I don't know what happened, but like they're definitely ignoring the nav mesh within about 30 seconds. If you lock a zombie outside of a house, within it's almost like an exact time, 20 to 30 seconds, they'll phase right through the wall every single time right now. And that also wasn't happening before Wednesday's update. When I played last week, they worked fine. So one of those experimental things. They've actually, I was telling James this, if you go into the server browser to play on experimental now, the servers are actually called experimental/unstable now. So, honesty is the best policy.
Are they going to start calling stable/unstable also?
They should just add quotation marks like DayZ 0.49 stable.
yeah. Giant quotation marks. Stable.
Stable-ish.
Stable's
don't
more
look
of a
at it too
state of
hard.
mind than a state of constant game crashes. You know. Do you feel stable? You are stable.
All right,
All right.
Joel, talk to us. I
Next
wanna
bit
hear
of
this.
news. What do you got for us? Besides the
got-
time code.
Alien isolation.
I just bought it just a couple days ago. I've only played for 45 minutes. I just checked Steam. That's how much time I have, so I don't really have much to say on it. But for anyone
Well,
who's
it
a
was
huge,
newsworthy.
but anyone who is a huge Alien fan, like, the environment. Dave, you're gonna love the environment when you don't buy the game and just play it on my computer because you will not last 15 minutes in the game. Like, just it won't. I'm sorry.
This is becoming like a personal challenge for me, Joel. Like, I'm going to put aside...
that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to pump you up to play it because I can't wait to see you fail at it. Because there's no way.
I'm gonna stop
There's
sleeping,
no
stop
way.
going to work. I'm gonna stop running. I'm just gonna beat Alien Isolation. It's my new life goal.
I told Dave if he beats Alien Isolation, I'll reimburse him for the game. But it's just no way. There's just, no way.
He ought to borrow your Steam. Just borrow it on Steam.
I told him he could do that.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see him get
Guys,
to about 25 minutes.
you remember how
and
excited we
never
were when they
do it.
talked about Steam Family Sharing? We are not utilizing this at all. Steam
Yeah.
Family Sharing is like the greatest. James is. That's true.
James, which I'm totally fine with. We're utilizing it.
although with Joel, you can ask him. He'll just give you his login information. I'm like, hey Joel, I don't want to buy Battlefield 4 expansions. What's your login? Oh
you
man,
asked
here you go.
for it.
I
drive
did.
What
to
would you
store.
expect me to say?
Take my
No.
car.
I mean, I guess you could have. I appreciate you're a good friend, Joel. That's what I was trying to go with that. Like Joel,
Joel's getting all
Kevin,
defensive.
what Joel I'm trying to say is the family sharing doesn't really matter for you because you'll just give us your login info.
What, you guys need the game? I'll give my credit card.
Not just that. When I picked up Steven, the actor playing Norman, I picked him up from the airport. Was it April or May when you last filmed, or when you were doing some filming earlier this year? I brought him to your house, and we show up, and your front door is open, and you're not there, and your wife's not there, and we walk in, front door wide open. You live in a townhome, so there's it's in a busy area. no one's there. Like, computers sitting on the tables, stuff laying out, like, door wide open. And we looked around for about 5 minutes thinking, something's wrong. And then Joel just waltzes up like, oh, hey, guys, we went to take the trash around the corner and left the door wide open because we didn't know if you were going to get here. And I'm like, that's so friendly. You're going to get murdered one day. I feel like if Joel's driving at like midnight in the middle of the winter in a downpour and he'll see a guy stand on the side of the road with like a machete with blood dripping off it, Joel pull up next to him. Hey, man, what's up? You need a ride? He's got like a big duffel bag with him. It's dripping blood out the bottom. Joel's like, hey, he seems like a nice guy. Always believe in the best about people.
Okay, did I tell you about the recent downtown event in where we live? Anyways, we went to this.
Oh, Joel.
Did you hear about this?
No, that was close. I saw you hesitated there.
No, he did good. He did good.
Okay.
He knew going into it.
Anyways.
He knew what he was doing.
So there was like a outdoor event with concerts and everyone has food and stuff like that. Well, anyways, I parked my car really, really far away because everyone, like all parking is just totally full down there. And on my way back, it was about almost a mile from where I parked to where the event is. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, there's just no parking anywhere. So on my way back, I'm going down these like steps. There's a construction area down these steps in a back alley. And of course, I come by these two guys smoking pot, and looks like they're just like selling weed or something or whatever, you know, I don't know, but it's selling drugs. Like, it looks really shady. And here I come just walking down, and I was a little nervous. I was like, crap, I know I can run. I can run past these guys and escape. And like the crowd, there's a crowd of people about 2 or 3 blocks away. So I was like, I could just get there. I could hide in the crowd. Well, I'm walking by, and I was thinking, I don't want to run. I'm like, I'm just gonna face my fears. I'm like, I don't like.
Are you afraid of marijuana, Joel?
No, dude. This is like, I mean, like, think of the most absolutely shady like back alley you've ever seen. Like, and they're just totally they're smoking. And they're
Jeremiah's apartment complex.
They're just looking at me, and I'm like,
15 in the morning.
No, it was just a guy trying to break into his car that was parked outside.
And
Dave.
howling sirens, packs of dogs, airport sounds, the highway.
You can't hear most of it from indoors. Sorry, go ahead, Joel.
A guy materializes out of the darkness, Jeremiah, and asks for a screwdriver.
I gave it to him. I'm a nice guy.
The staircase they went down is a closed staircase. Like, everything is all in construction in that area. So I kind of went down this broken kind of staircase, and so I kind of was definitely not an area where most people are. And so I was like, oh crap, what do I do? So instead of just like running, I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna go for it. I was like, hey guys, I was like, we're playing some music down over there. You know, you want to come? And they're like, oh, you playing some blues? Yeah, all right. They got all excited about that. I was like, sweet. So I just casually walked away. I'm sitting there sweating inside. I'm like, dude, I like rounded the corner, and I was like, whoop! I like ran as fast as possible, hitting the crowd. I was like, hope they don't see my face.
You pull a hitman, you just hit the crowd. You're like, blend.
Yeah, blend. Yeah. I like jumped in the nearest hay pile.
Haystack, Joel?
Hay.
Hey, collection.
Hey, pile.
The nearest hay tuft.
So
Start,
Alien
like, scaffolding
Isolation
the building.
is kind of like that. Like, there's these aliens hanging on the corners, smoking that dope, and Joel's like, "What's up, my extraterrestrials? Y'all want
was
some
that relevant to this
music?"
news article at all? I'm not sure how this story happened.
I'm just gonna end it right there. Let's just move
Wait,
on.
you're the one who said, let's keep it to an hour tonight. I'm probably going to talk less so we don't take as long.
That didn't happen.
Oh.
I got the giggles.
So is it fun, Joel?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I love I love games that just scare the crap out of you.
Cool. All right. So we're going to hop in the Wayback Machine, take a trip back to 2010 when Mountain Blade Warband was a thing. Yes, this game is 4 years old at this point. And,
Wait, it's only 4 years old?
Yeah, well, no, the original Mountain Blade's older. Warband, which is really just kind of like a big expansion pack for Mountain Blade, that's only 4 years old. And it's kind of like DayZ. A lot of the mechanics are really rough. The graphics have a lot of issues. Parts of it don't run very well. But the idea is really, really cool, and it's fun. Basically, Mountain Blade was amazing till Chivalry came along. And I was like, bye. The Chivalry 2, I feel like, could be everything Mountain Blade should have been. But a Mountain Blade Warband expansion has been announced. Viking Conquest, which is set around Britain, Norway, and Denmark, has a single-player storyline, the traditional sandbox mode, and new multiplayer game types. The reason I bring this up is I can't remember a game that's been out for this long that just gets a DLC out of the blue. Like, it's one thing to support a game for years and years and years. Like, World of Warcraft gets expansions every couple years. But they haven't done anything for this game in a couple years, and they're just like, oh, hey guys, by the way, new DLC. We've been working on it. Who's excited? So, that's
Well, what's funny is they're actually working on the full sequel to the game, too, right now.
Right.
That's their main thing. They've been working on that for, 3 years now?
Maybe they're
I'm not
trying
sure.
to regain some interest in the game.
Yeah, they might be
before
trying
the
to build
sequel
some hype.
comes out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
That's probably what it is, yeah.
Because there's rumors that the original Star Wars trilogy is going to be released, like the original, like no special
Yeah,
edition
I heard
like
that, yeah.
And possibly even doing digital as well. It's never been on any digital platform ever. So there's a possibility of that happening. So I can imagine they could do that this coming year to, raise awareness that, say, Star Wars is coming back. So I bet they're probably doing the same thing for Mount & Blade. Maybe.
Does Star Wars
I
need
feel
to
like
raise
Star
awareness?
Wars- I feel like Star Wars needs the PC settings where you can turn on and off special edition effects.
Oh, that would be sweet.
That's the Master Chief collection. It's that version.
Dude,
One
that
button
is a
press, they
great
say, and you
idea,
can switch
James.
back to
That's
the
actually
original
a really
graphics.
awesome idea. I would love that. That would be really cool.
Call it the George Lucas edition. You can watch it normal, and you hit the George Lucas button, and all the extra stuff turns on top of it.
I like it.
It's
Can you
sad.
do a hybrid version where they keep some of the cool new effects and then turn off the entire Job at the Hut musical?
Dude, they didn't have a Jar Jar button. You click it, Jar Jar's gone.
There'll just be a hole in the middle of the screen.
Like
It'd
some
still be
regular-
better.
Yeah. They're just talking with no one.
You see the guy in the suit with the little motion trackers on it.
I just want Andy Serkis wearing the little ball suit, just scampering around. I'm assuming he was Jar Jar. I guess I don't really know. If anything's motion tracked, if anything's motion tracked, it's Andy Serkis. Okay. Andy Serkis is playing this
I don't
light
know if
post
he
in
put
this
his
movie.
name on that one.
Yeah, that's probably true. All right. He put his name on King Kong. All right. New iMacs were announced today. What does this have to do with PC gaming? Almost nothing, except something actually cool. Apple actually really did push a technology barrier today in two ways. The new iMacs have a 5K display. And get this, you can get that display starting at $2,500 as part of the computer. So it's going to be an IPS LED, I'm sure, because that's what all of their monitors have been for years. They've been using 1440p panels, the same ones you can get in a lot of those. Pretty much every 1440p IPS monitor uses the exact same LG panel that Apple uses. They just use the A+ bend parts. And so their new one actually has a 5K display. So I don't know if this means LG is going to be producing these 5K panels for everyone else, but it's out now, and it's pretty amazing that you can get what has to be at least a $600 panel. You can get in a $2,500 box. Of course, you can option them to be a lot more expensive than that. But I think it actually is a little bit impressive that Apple obviously did cut into their profit margin on this one. Because they only bumped the base cost of the thing up by $500, and they went from 1440p to 5K. And that's impressive.
Joel sent it to me, and the first thing I replied with was, and it'll be powered by a mobile graphics card.
That was my next thing. It is powered
500 series.
by the M290X, the mobile version of my graphics card. Although the mobile version is more akin to a Radeon 7870. If you're like, that sounds kind of familiar. Which one is that? Well, that is supposedly the processor that the PlayStation 4's GPU was based off of. So we don't know for sure exactly which one the PlayStation 4 is based off of, but if that's accurate, regardless, this was a $200 GPU 4 years ago. They say it's the latest in AMD graphics, and they show screenshots of people playing Civilization. Just in case anyone's curious, you will not be gaming at 5K with a mobile version of a Radeon 7870. Sorry. Spoilers. That's not going to work. Just for kicks and giggles, I ran ARMA 3 at 4K the other day. I went from about 65 to 70 FPS with everything on Ultra at 1440p to 7 FPS at 4K.
7 is still technically motion. Technically motion.
You put enough motion blur on it, the console peasants will be like, this looks good. I mean, honestly, 15's too high. This feels more natural.
My eyes feel really relaxed right now. I like this. It's
I can blink a lot and I don't miss anything.
The one thing I wish that iMacs did have is the ability to use them as just straight up monitors. So as time progresses and they're great monitors, you kind of can't use them. You know what I mean? Like that's
I believe you can do that actually. A friend of mine, can you not do it? He was going to get a second iMac. He knew someone who was selling the old iMac. He was going to use it, not old, but like 3 years old, and he was going to use that as a second monitor.
Though, I mean,
no, I'm pretty sure
really?
he said you could just use it like plug through the Thunderbolt ports. I mean, maybe you can't, but
maybe there's an app you can get that do it. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I always wanted to have that happen for my MacBook Air. Just if there's an HDMI in, because I don't know, if we travel, I could connect my PS4 or something like that, just to use it as a screen.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
Just be handy, because it's so small. I don't know why laptops don't do that as often. That would be
cool
feature.
There's got to be a good reason, because it would be awesome if you could use the screen on the laptop and like the HDMI input, like you're saying. But since no one does it, like there has to be some reason that we just don't understand.
Yeah, there's a certain upscaling issue, because I even looked into the 1440p monitor. It looks really weird putting like games into it. Like it's odd. I don't know how it works, but anyways.
So the question is, are they going to? I mean, it's pretty much a good guess that they're going to start doing 5K cinema displays.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will, and I'm guessing that they'll be. I don't know if consumer ones are going to follow right up after it. It seems weird that they went from 4K to 5K. Like 4K, consumers are starting to realize like 4K is a thing. It's a real short name. People understand it. Like it's starting to gain traction. So I am curious why they didn't decide to just go with 4K, which is still so new that it's not like we can't go with 4K. That'd be settling,
Well, I think the one reason I actually thought was really awesome, which I would love, is that you can have full screen 4K video playing and still have room around it.
I wonder if that's what it was.
Even with my movie, I keep my movie at half, like the quality, like half or just half the size, because at 1080p I don't have much room left to edit with timeline stuff. Even still,
did you say iMovie?
What did I say?
Pretty sure you said iMovie.
Maybe.
You don't use iMovie, do you?
I don't use iMovie. No.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Norman,
maybe I didn't say my
iMovie.
movie. I meant to say my movie, not iMovie. But I think that'd be awesome. Like
Joel, Apple has their
shot
claws
at 4K.
in you so deep. Hi guys, I'm iJoel.
Hi Joel.
I'm very uncomfortable right now.
But I don't know. I think that'd be really cool to have native 4K and look at it. That'd be cool.
Yeah. I mean, that could be a decent use case.
Can you just look at it? Just look at it.
I don't want to, Joel. Put it away. We got to move on. All right. Oh, sorry. Firefox just crashed on me. I had to restart
AMD
it.
promises.
Yes, AMD. They came out with their Bulldozer microarchitecture a couple years ago. They were promising, hey, you think Intel's great? Just you wait. We're going to kick their butts. That did not happen. I bought their top of the line at the time Bulldozer processor, the FX 8350. And it was really good for anything multi-threaded, for video rendering and stuff. It would stop a 3770K that wasn't overclocked. What was impressive is it could do it for like 60% of the price, which is what AMD has always been really good at. Although in single-threaded applications, which let's be honest are most of them, AMD processors still can't pass muster. So AMD says that everyone knows that Bulldozer was not the game-changing part expected when it was introduced 3 years ago, and we have had to live with that for 4 years. I'm not really sure what that means, but he said the next version of their graphics and processing will actually be amazing, which is what they said last time, so who knows if anything will change, but hopefully that is a thing that will happen.
I just want to say, Dave, thank you for letting me always stay on the Intel and NVIDIA side of the game. I really appreciate it, Dave, because we can see the other side's been losing.
It's not
Is the
losing.
console gamer.
Losing is the wrong way to look at it. They're actually no. If you're on a budget, AMD has been the king for
aren't
years.
you on AMD? Are you still on AMD?
AMD graphics, Intel processor. I've had many of both. I've had more different versions than any of you guys. I have no allegiances other than I like it when AMD comes out with crazy cool stuff, because sometimes they do come out with things that really like kick NVIDIA and Intel. I mean they get passed, but like they're really good at at making some real competition because they'll cut prices like crazy, or
Competition
they'll.
is always good for the consumer.
It
Always.
is, and they'll put out stuff like overclockable 6-core processors for $100. Like Intel doesn't even serve that section of the market. So if you're on a budget, AMD I think is still the best option for a PC gamer. But if you can spend $1,000 on your rig, then no, Intel obviously
Got
makes
that
more
Norman
sense.
Cash.
That Norman Cash. That's what you did. That's what you did with your hands. Kickstarter.
We all know how you got that
I
money,
meant to be
Joel.
holding wads of cash. Okay, just want to make sure that's clear.
Joel,
all
this
know how
is
you
what
earned
you do
that
for
money.
that. This is cash. This is cash.
I want you to like take the
This
cash
is another
and, like,
way of
wipe
getting
the sweat
cash.
off
This
your
also
brow.
signifies I'm getting lots of cash, but not in the way that you want to be. All right.
James, that look of disapproval. So much judgment.
James is so the dad in this group. He's like, ugh, these kids. I just can't stand it.
And you know, just Joel. It's like, oh, just Joel.
All right. Steam is having a free weekend.
For everything.
Steam is free to download. No, they're going to have 10 games that are free for 48 hours. They are not free after that. But you will be able to download Awesome Knots, Blade Symphony, Company of Heroes 2, Don't Starve, Grid 2, Injustice, Killing Floor, Payday 2, Trine 2, and XCOM Enemy Unknown. Some really awesome games, and they are this weekend. They unlock 10 a.m. Pacific time today. So they've already unlocked at, I guess, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want them, you have until Saturday to do something about it. Or no.
And they're
Yeah.
on sale too. So
Oh, yeah.
if you like Payday 2 specifically, go ahead and buy it.
Speaking of that, Payday will actually be free to keep forever as long as you download it. Hold on, bringing up the tab.
Day one, clarify.
Yeah, it's completely free right now. So
You just have to sign up or just download it.
you just have to join the Payday 2 Steam group,
that's
and then
right.
Payday the Heist is free. So if you are interested, do that. And then also on GOG.com, Alien, which one is it? Alien versus Predator Classic, which is from like what, 2000? I think the year 2000.
Oh man, that's old school.
You have 48 hours to download it. Although that time's almost up, it's going to be gone tomorrow. So if you still want that, go to GOG and go ahead and get it. I never played the original Alien versus Predator, but I'm sure there's tons of people who are excited about it. Next news item. Battlefield 4 Premium Edition. I'm excited
Do the
about
motion
this
again,
one.
Joel. Do it.
What's that?
That's the right time for that motion.
You know, the marketing department was like, can we put it out yet? And everyone working on the game was like, no, it's broken. We can't put out the Premium Edition. They're like, but guys, we put out the Premium Edition of Battlefield 3 only a couple months after launch. Why not? And they're like, because the game sucks and people aren't going to buy it. And but now they put out their big game-fixing patch that supposedly makes everything better. Dave and Joel both
does.
say it makes a difference. Congratulations, it's been almost a year. The game was ready to release.
The game's out, guys.
Yeah. So, later this month, the Premium Edition on October 21st bundles all DLC content, all the release DLC, plus the last expansion, which is, what's it called? Final Stand, which is not out yet. It also gives you 12 gold battle packs and priority position in server queues.
12 gold battle packs.
Pay to win, yeah.
Now, this
Joel,
now,
control yourself.
you could already be a Battlefield 4 premium member like Joel and Dave are, but this is the premium edition, which includes it all in one, I guess, $60 price point.
Is it 60?
They didn't say.
No, it can't be that low because Premium plus Battlefield 4, even on sale right now, is still like $80 or $90.
But well, I'm assuming that'll drop when it comes out. When the Battlefield 3 Premium Edition came out, I think they dropped it to 60. Like, once at that point, they said the game's been out long enough, it's 60. Within a couple of months, you could get it for like 30. So,
Yeah.
still probably not worth it at this point.
You know, at least they didn't try to call it Battlefield 4 Game of the Year Edition.
Ooh.
That would have been a step too far.
Do you want riots?
Disappointment
That's
of
how
the
you
year.
get riots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm I will try it now that the big patch is hit, but I mean, I don't know if it's sad.
I've seen
to
it.
say.
I've seen it on sale like
Dude,
$13
it was
on
fi-
version.
That's the
Wait,
original. That's just the
Was it,
vanilla.
No, I thought I saw it.
dude, GameFly, it was literally, I think it was like $6. It was
For
ridiculous.
vanilla though, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was on 360, but still, it was like $5.
No one
360,
wants that.
the definitive Battlefield 4 experience.
But still,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
It's so cheap now.
yeah.
Battlefield 4 360, the "This Shouldn't Be Possible" edition.
It probably ran better than it did on the PC. But
I heard actually that the older generation of consoles, in the first month of the launch of the game, they actually had complete crashes like on PC, like where it would boot you back to the console OS.
But then everyone stopped playing it, and it didn't matter.
Yep.
You know, as sad as Battlefield 4 is, I don't even, like, if it plays just any good, if it just plays online for the new Battlefront, that game is going to keep me playing just because of the dang Star Wars music, like blaster rifles, the sounds. That's what's going to make me play it.
Dude, DICE's
the game
sound,
could be absolute crap, and I'm going to play it because it's Star Wars.
If the sound in that game is half as good as Battlefield 3 and 4,
that's going to be awesome. Just all the rifles and
DICE
stuff.
knows sound.
Man.
If nothing else, they know sound.
It's just the sound of those speeder bikes, like, flying about. Oh, man, it's going to be sweet. Whatever.
All right. It is now time for one of my favorite new sections of the podcast, the Potato Patch, where we talk about everything that's new and up and coming in console gaming, which is also like the headlines of 3 years ago in PC gaming.
I'm going to make us a little After Effects logo to play right here.
For the Potato Patch.
It's
all
gonna
right,
happen.
it's
I
all
just
in
want
good
to.
fun, everybody. Let's start with the first news item. Who put this one in? Ubisoft claims the industry is dropping the 60 FPS standard because 30 FPS is more realistic. Whose was
This one
that?
is mine.
All right.
This is the one. This story came out, I think it was last Friday, the day after our last podcast, and the internet collectively flipped upside down over it already. So we're kind of behind the times on this one. But in case you were under a rock last week and missed the outcry of nerd rage from the internet at large, even from console gamers as well, these are some of the quotes from Ubisoft about Assassin's Creed Unity and their target of 30 FPS. This is from Assassin's Creed Unity's world level design director, Nicholas Gurin. Has a little
it doesn't matter.
mark over his name. I can't pronounce that. Here's the quote. At Ubisoft, for a long time we wanted to push 60 FPS, he said. I don't think it was a good idea because you don't gain that much from 60 FPS, and it doesn't look like the real thing. It's a bit like the Hobbit movie. It looked really weird. Second quote. I think collectively in the video game industry, we're dropping that standard because it's just hard to achieve. It's twice as hard as 30 FPS. That's math for you. And it's not really that great in terms of rendering
Is it really
quality.
twice as hard? Wouldn't it technically be significantly harder?
No.
I mean, just from the frame rate.
it's drawing
twice as
double.
hard.
I mean, if the bottleneck is your GPU, it's twice as hard. If the bottleneck's something else, then no.
Yeah, if we're talking about the exact same render quality, James, the same amount of anti-aliasing, the same shadow mapping, and just the frame rate, then yeah, it's just double the effort.
Yeah, but if you're already at the top of your card,
I don't understand.
never mind.
Yeah. So that's his two main quotes there, and this is actually the shorter article that I have here in the news. There was a longer article where the quotes just really kept adding up, and I can understand the difficulty with 60 FPS, and I would agree to a certain point that if a developer has to make a choice between really amazing particle effects, high resolution shadow maps, a little bit of anti-aliasing at 30 FPS, or reducing those features and then doubling the frame rate to 60 FPS, yeah, for a game like Assassin's Creed, definitely drop the frame rate to 30 and have a cleaner render, a nicer looking
Just
render.
don't lie
at
to
30
everybody
FPS.
about why you're doing it.
Don't make up BS about how it's this artistic decision that you're choosing to downgrade the frame rate. There's nothing wrong with hitting a hardware limitation, but people aren't ignorant for the most part, and they see right through this kind of thing. It's okay to admit that you hit a line. I'm wondering if maybe Sony or Microsoft were like, look, I don't want you talking about less than a year after the launch of these consoles, that you're hitting hardware limits, because they were talking about when this game was first announced that their goal was full HD and 60 FPS, and now it's 900p at 30 FPS as we approach launch.
And here's why the whole comparison to movies is stupid. One, movies are real. If it's filming something that's real life, you can't really compare that to a video game as far as what looks best. One is actually real life and one isn't. Secondly, the only reason movies look good at 24 FPS is because they have motion blur. Pause a movie on any given frame, and you will notice a lot of blur that you don't see when you are, unless it's like a very slow moving scene, you'll see blur that you don't see when you're watching it. That's because the frames are blurred together to create fluid, lifelike motion, and 24 FPS looks good. 30 FPS games can also do the same thing. But it's so stupid to say, like, oh no, 60 FPS isn't realistic. What's realistic? It's all made up. Like, there's no defined realistic standard. The most realistic would be like 5,000 FPS, or like whatever upper limit of what your eyes could possibly perceive. Like, that would be the most realistic. It's not realistic, it's an artistic decision. On movies, on games, I don't know if it's an artistic decision, unless making that decision lets you make other artistic decisions, like Dave was saying, where better particle effects and stuff. Joel always likes to make the point, and I agree with him. Locking the frame rate makes a huge difference. Like, I'd rather you lock it at 30 for almost any type of game. I'd rather you locked it at 30 and make it pretty than have it kind of hit 60 most of the time. If you can lock it at 60, awesome. I mean, cool. But if you can't, yeah, just lock it to something, get consistent, and don't tell people it's an artistic decision when it's obviously not. I mean, are they going to tell us 900p is an artistic decision because people don't really like stuff that's high resolution? Like, yeah,
it's just ridiculous. It just frustrates me that, you know, they have it. And I'll send you guys a link I just saw earlier today. I meant to put it on there. This guy talking about how, you know, Microsoft is really pushing them to even make for other games on PC to keep it the same frame rate, you know? Now, I can understand, like, if you go from the ground up, try to make a game, let's say you're trying to make a game it's meant to be actually cinematic, okay? I mean, like, and I mean cinematic by film, like, when you're shooting at 24 FPS, like, panning, there's actually a rule, you don't want to pan too fast if you don't have a subject that you're following, because your eyes is following a subject that's panning. He's motionless pretty much in the screen. The background is what blurring. But if you have nothing in the background, you're just panning across a landscape, try panning really quickly on a 24 FPS. You can't see anything. It looks really nasty. I think it's like a 15-second rule or something like that. That's like, if you're gonna pan for a big distance, you gotta be slow. But, you know, in a game, you're controlling it. You know, you're gonna whip the camera around. No one's telling you to move the camera slow, so you can whip it around and really get an odd sense. Now, I have Last of Us HD on the PS4, and they enables you to change it from 30 to 60.
Oh, you can change it? I thought it was just 60. Okay.
If you change it to 30, the shadow maps actually get a little bit better.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
But I wouldn't mind actually playing it at 30, but the only thing that's bad about on the HD version is you can tell there's actually barely any motion blur, or if any at all, on the 30 FPS lock on it. Where the PS3 version of it, they add a slight bit of motion blur, and it looks really good. Like, it's fine to play with. Other than the 30 FPS on the HD one is really locked. The PS3 one kind of wavered in a lot of sections. So I play at 60, you know, it looks awesome. But I can understand, like, I would develop a game where, you know, when you go to cutscenes and I hate cutscenes at 60 FPS. They always look really gay to me. They look just stupid. Because it just, like, if you've watched motion at 60 FPS, it's like recorded video, the action scenes, when they're faking it, look really slow and stuff. It just doesn't look right. So I like playing a game at 60 FPS. It looks great. But once you go to the cutscene, it looks kind of nasty. So I can understand, you know, even with Assassin's Creed, and even if they came back from development saying, all right, here we go, you know, the PS4 has a little bit more tech to it, but it's not enough that we're going to really put a lot of time to, like, boost it to 1080p. Or let's say, even if they could, it's going to spend a lot of effort. You know what? Let's lock them both at 900p. It's going to be easier to develop for both of them. And there's no way we're getting to 60 FPS on this, but let's do it. If that was truth, then go for it. But the way they try to come out on these things is make it sound like, no, 30 FPS is way more cinematic for everything. I'm like, no. It makes sense for, like, some of the games like The Order. Like, if they want to go push graphics heavy, they're not going to go 60 FPS on it. If they go 30, they can get more graphics out of it. And it honestly will have a more cinematic feel because of that frame rate. It's closer to 24, and it has that really nice motion blur, so it feels like you're always in a movie. The cutscenes don't change to some 60 FPS all of a sudden. It stays the same. So I can understand.
The thing about 24 FPS and motion blur is it hides the flaws. It lets your eyes and your imagination fill in the gaps, and that's why it's more convincing. And you can definitely make that a target, even I think for games. Stylistically, maybe for like you were saying, cutscenes and whatnot. But a lot of the times when a developer has promised a higher goalpost and then, in this case, you know, goes back on it, we just hear all these really silly excuses instead of actual discussion about it.
But I don't know. It'd be nice to see, one of these days. And I can understand being the people behind Xbox One right now. I mean, they don't have a bunch of amazing hits right now, and I think they're realizing. Oh, in the article I sent you, he was saying how they're really pushing developers to utilize the cloud processing, which I think in the future, in the next couple of years, I think people are going to try to figure that out. That'd be amazing. You could have a crappy computer, but a lot of the cloud does so much for you. I don't know how much that's going to be with lag. I mean, I can't imagine playing ARMA on the cloud. Be like extra
it's not
lag.
going to happen.
Yeah, no. But I could see some things like the crowd simulation for Assassin's Creed or whatever. That could be awesome. It's doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, offloading some of that to the cloud and then letting the rest of it. It could be awesome, but SimCity, if that taught you anything, it should be we're not there yet. Like, that's maybe like 10 years from now, but our internet infrastructure is way far off from being able to do that.
This is slightly off topic, but kind of in the same where people are nervous that they want to make sure they sell units, right? Mm-hmm. James, did you hear about the whole U2 apology? Video? I mean, it wasn't really an official apology, but I did think that was really interesting. What he said is, people were like annoyed that U2 gave everyone a free album. Like, people were like seriously annoyed.
That's not what they were annoyed about. They were annoyed that it got like pushed to their devices without asking them, and then they were told about it.
But the same way with updates, though. Like, what's the difference?
What did it get pushed to the device, or do they have their device set to sync anything that they get in the store?
If it's set to sync, then it automatically pushes. Mine is not set to sync anything because I hate Apple, or I hate the way Apple does that. So mine did not automatically download. But yeah, a lot of people
auto updates.
No, because they make your device slower. Updating to iOS 8 has made my snappy iPhone 5 quite a bit slower.
Every update.
I know. My wife's iPhone 4S is only on iOS 7.
So you're not on the newest iOS, or you wouldn't upgrade yourself?
I'm on 8. My wife
is wouldn't have. So if you didn't have auto update, you would have kept your old one.
No, I don't have auto update turned on. I wish I hadn't upgraded. Yes, I would have kept the old one. iOS 8 hasn't added that many cool things, and it makes the phone slower, so why would I want it? I'd rather have the snappy experience than a couple extra features I don't really use. I mean, that's
No, you're doing it wrong.
What?
But the one thing,
this was fast when I got it. I'd like it to stay fast till I get rid of it. Yeah, the Apple Way would have been. This is a 2-year-old model. Why am I still using it? I should have a 6 or a 6 Plus by now.
That is one good thing I'm glad that consoles don't do. They don't add crazy bloatedware that slows it down after 5 years. It generally gets faster. Like it does.
No, the PlayStation 3's
it's
menu
way
system.
faster than when it started. Way faster.
No, dude. By the time I got rid of mine, the store took like 3 minutes to load properly.
Oh, well, that must be your fat one, because mine works totally fine. Like it's snappy.
Right, my legacy hardware.
But I've had mine for 4 years, so
you keep the same hardware, and they make software updates, and it makes that hardware slower.
Well, mine is still 4 years. I have an Xbox I've had for 6 years. It runs just fine. Hasn't changed. Hasn't skipped a beat at all. I'm just saying, like, I'm glad they don't do what iOS does, and like
it's not as
every
bad.
2 years, like,
I agree, it's not as bad
because they're not trying to force you to upgrade yet. They just want you to keep buying new games. Where the iOS is like they want you to buy new stuff.
Hold on, speaking of iOS, can we do a moment of shaming? Ultra Grunt still has a 3GS. I just throw that out
if
there.
He's happy with it, he should stick with it.
He's not happy with it because he always says, like, he took a picture of his one of his guitars, said, "Sorry, it's with just my 3GS. It's gonna be blurry." That does not sound happy.
All right. It is now time for the next item in the potato patch. Final Fantasy XIII was disappointing when it released on consoles like 4 years ago, and it's even more disappointing now that it's been ported to the PC because it's locked to 720p. That part's pretty disappointing because almost no one has a 720p screen. People with screens that are that low resolution are playing on 4.3 1024 by 768 or 1280 by 1024 screens. But
even on PC, it's locked to 720.
Yes, on PC it's locked to 720p.
13?
Are you sure?
Yes.
Is it 13?
Yes.
Or 14?
13. Here's where it gets stupid. It requires a 59 gigabyte install.
What?
59 gigabytes.
This is why disc games are not going away for a long period of time. There's not a zillion people that can afford to download 59 gigs.
Most of them aren't like that though. Most games are not. Although, and
most games now
don't hate on me this. I was curious a couple days ago. I went to the Pirate Bay and I went to the games download section because, like, when you install a game through Steam, it doesn't really tell you exactly how big it's going to be. It just tells you how much space it needs to download. I was like, all right, what size are all these unpacked games people can download? The average size of a new game coming out is about 35 gigs, which is because of the new consoles. It made an immediate jump from like 15 gigs, which you could get on a dual or 2 dual layer DVDs on an Xbox or something. It went from that up to about 35 gigs.
Textures.
So the downloads are getting, and Ultra makes a good point. That destroys people's bandwidth limits. If you have like a 250 gig bandwidth limit, you're screwed.
You can download 4 games.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Screwed.
But I don't know why, like, were there that many people really wanted to play Final Fantasy XIII on the PC, because it certainly was not that popular on the consoles. I mean, it sold a bunch of units at first, and then a lot of people were super disappointed with it. But modders are working on it. Durante, a modder he's responsible for making Dark Souls run at 60 FPS instead of 720p 30 FPS when it initially was ported to the PC, and they're working on it, so hopefully that'll get fixed. Thank you, PC modding community.
How are they locking the game? I mean,
you don't provide an option to let scale up. Just like you can turn on VSync, you turn on VSync in the game's code and stick it at 30, and don't provide an option for people to change it. So it's not necessarily the game is locked at it, but their settings, they lock it at it and don't let you mess with it.
don't go to the config file. Don't do it. Nothing there for you.
All right, and for our last item in the potato patch, The Evil Within. Whose news item is this?
Oh, that was mine. I mean, I am excited to play this game at some point.
Yeah, I hear like it's a spiritual successor to the good Resident Evil games.
Yeah. Can I just taper off your enthusiasm just real quick? PC Gamer just 30 minutes ago posted their review. They gave it a 60.
Oh.
It's not. I mean, that's not horrible, but that's not amazing either.
Okay, well, I'll read a few other reviews. Yeah, I generally trust PC Gamer, but maybe it's because of the port. Anyway, what's up with the port?
Honestly, they probably cranked it down because of the port too. But yeah, apparently it's, you can only do 30 FPS on PC, and they allow you the ability, but pretty much, I think it was Eurogamer did a whole test, like the Digital Foundry, and they couldn't find any computer with the highest specs they could find that could run it.
So it's an optimization issue. It just isn't.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which I guess for survival horror, that's one of those things where like 30 FPS, I could see making, as far as like the cinematic experience. Survival horror, a little slower moving. I could see 30 FPS.
I don't really see them going, oh, they locked the 30 FPS. It's like, whatever. Like, they designed a game. They liked it at 30 FPS. That was it. It just worked well. They tested it. Done. All right, it's fine. You know what I mean? I don't really find it a huge deal of like, why can't I make it go to 120 FPS? I'm like, it's not a freaking shooter. That's how they built the game. That's how they want it to look like. So what's wrong with
I know, but people just get irritated anytime. That's the way the PC works. Anytime a developer takes an option away from you and says, nope, you don't need to adjust it, PC gamers always feel like, wait, but like, I like adjusting that and playing with that. Why won't you let me?
But I guess it's funny because it's kind of like, well, do they freak out when they go, oh, you're giving us those textures, those tree ones? How dare you? Oh, wait, I can just change it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like locking at 30 FPS the same way saying, the game's going to look like this. The lighting will have this. It's locked. You can't change lighting in the game. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, a lot of PC gamers do that too with overlays that change post effects. Like SweetFX is really popular. There are people who won't play a game without being able to apply a SweetFX filter to it to change saturation, shadows, contrast, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know. But it's funny that people get so angry about this stuff, but whatever. Kind of like, I don't know. I think I should be sad because I picture myself going, guys, let's make a game. Like, oh man, we don't have the skill to make it 60 FPS, and then we go, sorry guys, it's gonna be locked at 30. We don't know how to do it, And people are like, how dare you? You're hiding things behind your back. You're not allowing the PC master race to use their CPUs, or whatever crap.
Like, they would have been better off though. I know. That's the thing though, is they locked it at 30 because they know that's going to provide a better experience. Honestly, PC players would have liked them better if they just put it out and let you run it up as high as you want. Even if no one's computer could do it, it would give them a challenge.
They do allow that. They allow an unhooked version, so you can just
officially in the game settings.
Yeah, but they said pretty much. Yeah, it is. It does.
It's kind of like they maybe did with BioShock, where they had the 30 version mode, and then they had the unlocked mode.
They just said it's not stable. Like it could break some stuff, or your computer, because apparently the requirements are insanely high on the game already.
Yeah.
Whatever.
All right, it is now time for the Singularity Shame segment, a segment sponsored by Singularity 80 in chat. If you want to say hi to him and thank him, he made a very generous donation to the podcast. And this section is where we pick somebody who needs a thorough drubbing and we give it to them. We give it to them real good.
With enthusiasm.
Now, this week's topic is a little bit testy because one of us, who shall remain nameless, can't legally discuss this particular person or this particular entity without violating a contract. So I can't tell you which person that is. You'll just have to guess. But a company that partners lots of YouTubers. Their name rhymes with machinima. This YouTuber, I'm not sure what his name is. Evil Vicky? Evil Vikine? Evil Vikine, 45
Very
or something
feminine.
like that. Evil Vikine, 45. He was playing ARMA recently, he noticed he was getting a lot of downvotes or dislikes on an ARMA video.
I just got it. I hate you guys.
And,
I'm like, Evil Viking.
no. Evil Vikine, 45.
I'm looking on our Google Doc, and I'm like, what are you looking at? I don't see any name of that. I'm like, Evil. I'm like, what?
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Okay, so anyway,
I'm with Joel here. I'm just confused.
Have you met Dave?
he was getting a lot of dislikes. This anonymous YouTuber was getting a lot of dislikes on his video, and he went and looked at it, and here is what he saw. There you go, right there. Everyone should be able to see that. James and Joel can't see it, but he has an hour and 10 minute long video with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 mid-roll ads in it. 15 mid-roll ads. That's like an ad every
over a minute long each.
Yeah, that's like an ad like every 4 or 5 minutes.
The first ad is 6 minutes into the video, and the briefing hasn't even been finished yet. Like the mission hasn't started yet, and there's an ad. And that's not including pre-roll and post-roll ads, as well as sidebar ads and overlay ads.
So this anonymous YouTuber was a little bit distraught, and now thankfully, I don't know where we got it, but into our hands fell the confidential Machinima, whatever that company's called, the Machinima partner newsletter. Machinima. We have no idea where this came from, but we got the latest copy of the newsletter. Here are a couple little pull quotes. After extensive testing, we did not witness any negative impact on channels from mid-roll placements. Content with mid-roll ads had a slightly higher completion rate without affecting viewership. There's no way on God's green shiny earth that is true. No, exactly. That's why Netflix is failing. 'Cause people are like, I'm going back to cable where there are ads. Like, there's one time in the year where people are like, awesome, let's watch some ads, and that's the Super Bowl. This is not the Super Bowl. No offense, Evil Vekan 45, but your ARMA video is not quite as entertaining as the Super Bowl for most people, and so they probably don't want to watch ads every 4 minutes on it. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now, you can opt out of that program, but you have to manually put the mid-roll ads in. Basically, Machinima is saying, someone's going to stick it in. Either you're going to or we're going to. You can pretend to like it, bite the pillow, we're going in dry. And that is the Singularity Shame segment. It is now time for the comment of the week, a part of the week where Dave goes out into the forest, scampers around, he sees a small bunny frolicking through a field, he goes up to the bunny, and then a bunch of people jump out of the woods, beat the bunny to death, and then scream vulgarities at Dave, who writes them down and brings them to us to share with us what the internet had to say positive about us this week. Dave, what is the comment of the week?
Can you give us your It's Always Sunny in DayZ voice for this comment?
It's more of like, just frustrated. Wow, the slack-ass devs are actually doing something. DayZ standalone sucks. So thankful I didn't buy it. Is this me? It might be good and more complete 3 years from now. What is wrong? That's a perfect comment. That's exactly what I would write.
That's why I had you read it. It'd be great if one day, I read down like one of Joel's quotes from Skype, and it's the comment of the week. You didn't make him read it out loud.
It's so stupid. Obviously, they just don't understand. The devs are actually doing something. That's like driving past a house that's being built, and you can't, like, it's already been framed, and you're looking at it going, They're not doing anything. I'm driving past there for months. I can't see anything. Have you gone inside and looked at everything they're doing on the inside? They're putting down floors, putting up walls. They're installing counters. Nope. But I'm sitting outside. I don't see any difference. I don't see. It just has the Tyvek wrap on it.
I can't move furniture in yet. What the heck? Where's my furniture, Rocket? Where's my furniture? You promised furniture. Where's my furniture,
confirmed.
Rocket?
Please, Rocket, give me furniture.
Or just one simple texture. That's all you need. Furniture or a tiny texture.
Yeah, I mean, I've got plenty of...
The bad part of the analogy is if you buy a house that you have to build, you don't officially sign all the papers until...
No, this person didn't buy the house. They're driving past someone else's house that's being built. They haven't put any money down, like this person says. They didn't pay for anything.
They're just angry just because.
Yeah, they're just judging it from a distance when they have no personal involvement in the project. It's fantastic.
Yet they love the videos.
Apparently.
All right, and that has been Comment of the Week. It is now time for the last segment of the podcast, 90 Seconds with Joel.
Hey, folks. Now we're going to talk about Oculus Rift.
No, I just got one. I ordered it.
Sweet. Which
So,
version?
I'm excited. DK2.
Awesome.
The second version, so I'm really excited.
I like how loose you are with your money. I appreciate it because I get to hear about things that I would never buy.
I've been waiting to buy this one for a long time.
I know. You've been talking about it since like podcast number 1, I think, and I'm super excited to come play it at your house.
Wait,
I'm
Joel,
more excited to have
You're
Dave
gonna be that friend.
strap in, pull it over, and just ride it.
All right, Joel, I'll be over at your apartment this week.
All right, and that
Strap
concludes
me
the
in.
podcast.
Now it was a birthday gift I've been wanting to get.
Dave, you got to
for a
put it
long
on,
time, so.
strap it on, and get ready for 90 Seconds with Joel.
Or 60.
The human eye can't last more than 30 seconds with Joel. And really, 10's not that bad if you think about it. It's
The frame rate
new.
wavers a
He's
little
never
bit.
worn an Oculus Rift before. This doesn't normally happen on his
Ultra
monitor.
just asked if he could borrow it. I wonder how much money you could make renting it to people.
Ultra, you come to America and you can definitely borrow Joel's Oculus Rift. I should have asked him first. Joel, if Ultra comes to America...
He could spend the night at our house if you come into America.
Absolutely, because Joel will tell you exactly where he lives. He'll leave the door open.
Dude, we have an amazing ice cream place nearby. I will take you and buy you ice cream.
Awesome, because he doesn't have that in Britain.
No,
Although
but
he doesn't. I bet
he doesn't
actually
have the ice cream place we have.
that's true. That's true, and I bet the British
Jeremiah,
ice cream is
that's
healthier
Great
somehow.
Britain.
Oh, Great Britain, whatever.
It's still an empire.
Scotland's masters. That's what I call them.
But I'm excited. I'm excited to try some of the roller coaster things. I want to try, and I'm hoping to build a game next year using the Oculus Rift. So
Oh,
I'm
awesome!
excited.
What type of game?
So, secret.
Oh,
I don't want Ultra Grunt stealing it.
it's weird. I thought we were friends, but it's fine. I get it.
No, but I got some ideas. But I mean, it's something I've always wanted to have since I was a kid. Like since like Virtual Boy, like just getting a small.
When does it
taste
get
of
here?
that.
How long of
You
a
were
wait is it?
inspired by Virtual Boy?
Oh yeah, well I played I think Wario World or something like that on it, and it was awesome. I was like, whoa, 3D, you know. And I only been to a few 3D things when I was a kid. It was just so cool. But
Yeah.
I think just being able to look like this, like especially for like the cool part I'm excited about is what you can't do in most FPS games, and you still can't even do in DayZ. You can still look like this, but like when you walking out in real life, like you could have like a gun and still be kind of looking this. You have full kind of awareness, And they said in that game you lean around corners and things like that. But one guy's article saying playing Alien Isolation was just like when an alien gets up in your face, it's like the mouth that comes out, the extra mouth. He's like, dude, it's right here. And so it says it's creepy where he's like found himself closing his eyes like he's at the dentist, like just get it over with, like it's that close. It feels like it's right in your face. So I don't know. I'm
It's
excited
right in your
about
face. You're yelling, "Get it over with!" This has been 90 Seconds with Joel.
it. Thanks, folks.
The first real 3D game that I played, a friend of mine worked at a university near you, Jeremiah. Mm-hmm. And they had this thing called the Cave, which was 3 walls and then a 4th projected on the floor, and they were just all projected. They wore like a tracking headset, and you could see all the walls around you. It was pretty amazing. I played Quake 2 like that. It was pretty fun.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Joel, I want to come over and film you playing like
Oh, I'm excited,
Amnesia.
yeah.
It needs to be Amnesia.
And, let's film Dave. He'll be
can
way
can
more
we get a
interested.
few Seagrams in him?
Just pop a few Seagrams into me.
Roller coaster route.
No, we definitely need to film Dave. Dave is going to be gold.
Dave is gonna pull out his gun.
I mean,
and shoot your wall.
although, yeah, shoot my wall. Either that, or he'll just be like this.
I'm ready
He'll
for
just do this.
aliens.
Dave is literally gonna just be like, all right, and I'm done.
We need to have Dave's wife sitting there with a blanket, Dave's favorite snack, and a hug ready. Like, if it gets too real, like, you pull it off, he's like, get me out, get me out.
Come back to us, Dave. Come back.
We've never done this before. We don't know.
I'll just take a bunch of NyQuil before I play. That'll help, right?
No, what you need to do is load up DayZ so Dave can just, his head will just be going, look at the tree, look at this, look at the textures over here.
The draw distance.
His hands won't even be touching the mouse and keyboard. He'll just be doing this for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, my neck's gonna be seriously sore when I start messing around with Oculus.
Joel, how long until it arrives? Like, how long of a wait do you have?
They said it generally it can ship within just a few days.
Ooh,
So,
oh, dude, I'm so excited.
yeah,
I'm so
really
excited. That's
so
gonna be
I hope
awesome.
it is.
Wait, did you pay for extra shipping, like overnight or anything? Why? Is it too late?
What?
Is it too late?
What do you mean it's too late? I don't think there even was an option.
Because a lot of us are gonna be there
In 2 weeks.
next weekend.
2 weeks.
Oh yeah, you're right. I kind of forgot about that.
Is it 2 weeks? 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2
In
weeks.
2 weeks.
That's a good amount of time. Oh, that would be awesome.
I can take a look. I don't know. I can take a look to see.
Bonfire canceled.
give you a tracking
We'll have
number?
Oculus Rift on
The
that.
bonfire at my house is canceled.
We'll have a
One of us
virtual
can play.
bonfire.
Only one of us can play.
I'm gonna
at a time,
charge each
yeah.
one of you guys for 20-minute session. Got to put another quarter in.
Can I just redeem some of
Just
my
like
I help
your
you with
mom.
Norman credits?
Just like your mom. I can actually see that, like a little quarter thing. Like, oh, that quarter got stuck. Like, smashed a little bit.
They don't
Oh,
get
2 quarters
stuck. It's
came
like
out.
throwing them into a well, Joel. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Mrs. Joel's mom. Okay. And that has been Casual Shenanigans Gaming. As always, you can write in to be a part of the show. casualshenanigans@gmail.com. Write in with your little witty quotes, your artwork, and your computer builds, and we will go over them and tell you how wrong you are about all of it. You can tweet at casualshenaniga, at JERMgaming, at evilviking. You can follow us both on YouTube, which you're probably already doing if you're watching this or listening to this. And you can always go rate us on iTunes and support us on Patreon, which helps bring the podcast to more people. We appreciate you guys so much. It's incredibly fun to do this, and we love that people are willing to come out and listen to us, or not come out, you're sitting in your homes listening to us talk about video games. So thank you guys very much.
And Joel's mom.
And
Equal amounts.
with that, does anyone else have anything else they need to throw in before we go?
Nope. Is our Armor 3 queue good to go? Do we have our extras?
I think we do. So yeah, for anyone playing Arma 3 with us in a couple minutes, let's shoot for like 9:45. We'll be starting, so everyone has plenty of time to get stuff set up. And with that, everyone, James, what should everyone do?
Stay casual.